seriously fell down a rabbit hole. Because tell me why I am here researching about interconnectedness in psychology. I fell down a rabbit hole for like 5 hours. Oh my god. I don't even know how to start explaining this, but shit. I I just feel like I've solved the world's biggest problem. And I was not even researching about it. I was researching about the history of religion, because there's just a lot. There's just a lot you need to know about religion, like the background, the history. That's what I was researching about, because I needed to get my facts right for something I want to do. But I don't know how I went down the rabbit hole, because it's 5:30 a.m. I am yet to sleep for the night. I have to study for the exam, which is at 4. Yo, it has been one long ride. So yeah, I'm telling you, I fell down the rabbit hole of how Enoch didn't die. He just up and left. No body, no nothing. So nah, I'm not going to take you through that. But I said nisome nikopa na wapigia story. Because tell me why right now I am here thinking, where did the Garden of Eden disappear to? Because no one has been able to find it. So where did the Garden of Eden go to? Because it existed and then it didn't. How is that possible? I'm not going to tell you about my crazy ideas. Or maybe I will. I don't know. Because in today's world, you start talking things like that, they term you as crazy. And if you start overthinking it, they start saying you're losing it. So, but I don't know. Because honestly though, where did the Garden of Eden disappear to? And where did Enoch disappear to? Like, we know Elijah alienda na a chariot of fire. We know that. But Enoch literally just up and left. And then we have books written by him, or allegedly written by him. I'm saying allegedly because it can't be proven. But if you think about it, like, no body, no case, like no, like, they couldn't find his body, so maybe he's still alive. Okay, or was still alive then. Because Kitambo, people used to live for 900 years. He disappeared when he was 364 or 65, I'm not sure. And he was never heard of from that day. And then we have his books like Enoch 1, Enoch 2, and Enoch 3 coming out. And Enoch 1 is said to be written about angels and astrology and cosmology, the stars, the angels, and a lot of details, yeah, that were not aligned with the normal books of the Bible. So it is not considered a book of the Bible, but it is the book of Enoch, right? So who wrote them if he just up and left? Nishaanza, sindo? But anyway, my point is, he could have written them. I mean, at this point, the guy was writing about stars and cosmology. What's to say he wasn't like doing, like, if you're seeing angels and we're not, you're either one crazy or you're actually seeing them with the ones who are not seeing them. And sometimes, like, you guys do know that for a fact your mind cannot interpret what it cannot see. So your eyes will not be able to see what they can't interpret. Does that make sense? Like, if I can't interpret, if my brain can't interpret what I am seeing, then my eyes will not see it. So if I can't interpret the image and the physical appearance of angels, it's an example. So if I can't interpret their image, or if I cannot picture them how they're supposed to be, then I cannot see them. But that doesn't mean they don't exist and walk amongst us. And I'm not talking just about I'm not talking about angels, because I'm talking about other living things that we don't know exist, simply because our eyes cannot interpret. I mean, our mind cannot interpret, so our eyes cannot see. Yeah, so you see, so what's to say a guy who was writing about angels was not seeing angels? And who is to say that he just upped and disappeared, and then boom, 200 years later a book of his appeared? Maybe he was still alive all those years, because again, like I said, kitambo watu walikuwa naishi up to 900 years. So if he disappeared at 365 or 64, I'm not sure, add 200 to that, it would be like what, 565 or 4? Yeah. He comes back and decides to write the book and then leave it, then disappear to where he was, trying to tell us there is more to the world than we see. But because again, the human mind cannot interpret mystical things, people decided to dismiss his book. But what he was actually saying was the truth. Am I making sense? Okay, if I'm not making sense to you, it's okay. My point is, there is more to the world than what meets the eye. And if you actually think that the world revolves around only what you see, you're so wrong. There's so much more. And let's talk about how religion has been used as a tool of control by people, by state leaders. Like, state leaders have decided, like, not have decided, for the longest time they have been, like, from the medieval times, they have been using religion as a tool of control. Because um, after Constantine legalized, not legalized, yeah, literally legalized Christianity. The person that followed Theodenius literally decided to say that the whole state has to be Christian, and backed up the church, because apparently for you to be considered a king or an emperor, you had to be crowned by the church. You know, divine, I mean, yeah, ruled through divine right. You know, that's how Christians gained control back in the medieval times. And um if you are not agreeing with their rules, or the codex that the Theodenius, that word is hard to pronounce, I'll write it on the caption. If you are not agreeing to what Theodenius was saying, you are cancelled, literally. They would consider that treason. And if you're not Christian, then you would not be able to be king or emperor according to the codex. Yeah, Sister Rajaba, you can check that out. So yeah, that's the rabbit hole I fell through. And I'm like, damn. And if you think he needs to Rajaba, look at our situation here in our country. For example, during the last election, the church was used for political gains. And okay, let's go back to the medieval times, where religion was used to legalize wars. Like, they literally used religion to wage wars on other people. And I'm not just talking about Christianity, I'm talking about the other religions as well. Because with Christianity we have the Crusaders, with Islam we have the jihads, and with the buzi what hata sisemi, we have the war they waged on Asians some time back. Because again, it's just a whole nini of how religion was used as a tool of gaining power. Because during the time of Theodenius, the one who wrote the codex, bishops started getting wealthy. and getting power. You know, if you're the one choosing who is going to be in charge, then definitely you're getting the power, because you're being corrupted to choose someone to like become the emperor or the king. So that's what I'm talking about. I went that down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, share. How do I get myself out of it? And right now I'm here narrating to you guys instead of instead of reading for my exam. But that's beside the point. I was actually taking notes because I was so serious. I was so serious about reading. I was so serious about that. Yeah. Oh yeah, we had pagans and heretics who were killed around that times. Pagans are the ones that refused to convert to Christians, and the heretics are the ones that were baptized but refused to carry on they rejected the church doctrine. They refused to do what the church wanted, and so they were considered traitors to the cause. Some were murdered. Yeah. So, and this is how they were able to, and this is how religion was able to rather control everything. So the cover was, these men are doing God's will, like the crusaders and the jihadis. It's like they are doing God's will. That's what the cover of the whole mission of, you know, forcing people to go with their religion, or the wars and the violence that were waged during that time. And some of these people who were fighting in this war were actually innocent because they were just promised salvation. And who doesn't want salvation? Okay, I'm utaokolewa, and when that time comes, you'll be given wives. And if you're a Christian, you're told you'll be saved. Who wouldn't do that? Okay, back then. So they were so eager to fight in these wars. Yeah, so it was not their fault. And believe it or not, the church funded such wars through church taxes, donations, you know, the usual, like wanalipwa kunini ku, like wana fund hizi wars. So for example, if let's say a certain emperor or a certain king wanted to gain access to a certain border, and he didn't have the men to do that, alikuwa anatumia kanisa, anasema nyinyi wenye mmesettle hapa, you are pagans, you're not Christians, so get out, toka. And so that they can get that land. And if you don't get out, then war is waged. So yeah, those are some of the things that happened during the medieval time. It's also called the time of, according to philosophy, faith, faith and belief is what controlled a lot of people. You get, but not to worry. All of that changed. Like with time, there was a shift. With people like Martin Luther, who were like, no, we cannot be like doing that. And then so, watu wameanza kuamka jamini, watu wameanza kuamka. And then oh yeah, I'm saying about Martin Luther King. And then it was around that time people were like, no, we're tired of the Catholic way, because back then Catholic was the only denomination of Christianity. And so there was a split between the, now came another part, like the Christians literally split, and kakuana wanaitwaje, Protestants. So yeah, that's when the division happened, because the Protestants were like, we don't like the way you're rolling and everything, we don't like your ways, we need our own separate ways from yours. And hapo ndio kakuwa na split between Catholics and Protestants. But before we get into Catholic and Protestants, hata there is nothing to get into, because at this point mnajua Protestants na mnajua difference ya Catholic na Protestants. But before that, do you know, nilikuwa nimeandika notes my guys, nilikuwa nimeandika notes. Yeah, like all the first Christians were Jews. Did you guys know that? Like all the first Christians were Jews, but not all Jews were Christians. You feeling me? Kulikuwa na Jewish Christians, and then sa kuna wale Jews wenye bado walikuwa na practice Judaism. Judaism ni ile the law of Moses, they were still practicing the laws of the Old Testament, and they refused to convert to the Christian ways or the ways of Jesus. So there's that. And then we have, like, after that the Gentiles joined in, and yeah, that's how Christianity was birthed, like time year Jesus. And yeah, and then after his death his disciples continued his ministry, na ilikuwa inaitwa Jesus ministry. So they continued it by spreading the word. So initially Christianity was good before it was corrupted by state people, before it was corrupted by politics, before it was corrupted by taxes. Because believe you me, the church has something to do with taxes. Like, it all started in the medieval, but before all those negativity, like before all those bad things, it was actually a good thing, because Jesus' ministry was for the people who were not able to help themselves, the poor, the sick, the old, the needy. It catered for them. And yeah, so hata in the modern society, CAT Christianity stopped taking control over everything, because before saizi like hapo in between, after the medieval na saizi the modern saizi, all the churches, I mean not all the churches, before any Christianity yambiwe, because they literally made, like, especially in England, they made Christianity the it thing. If you're not a Christian, then, and if you needed anything, you had to be a Christian. Schools, hospitals, hizo vitu zote zilikuwa zimejengwa na missionaries, na missionaries were Christians. So again, you get what I'm saying. It's a whole roller coaster, and I just found myself in it. Oh, and then I just learned there's New Age religion, the Wicca and the Scientology. The Wicca, the Wicca are the witches. No, not the witches. Like they they believe in nature. The people who are into nature, the people who are into yeah, nature basically. Mother Earth, Gaia. They believe in goddesses. They A lot of people tend to compare this to Satanism, but it's not, because Satan is a Christian ideology. It's not a Wicca ideology. They just, okay, Christians basically, they still have that nini of supreme religion, because let's just be honest. So they'll judge you for doing things differently. So Wicca is more of witch, by which I mean herbs and nature. I don't mean witchcraft, like, no, okay, the not all Wiccas practice witchcraft. That's the point I'm trying to pass. And then Scientology is all about believing in higher selves and conscious, subconscious. There are people who do that. Yenye mnaitanga out of body experience. I've forgotten the name. Projection. Vitu kama hizo. So yeah, I fell through that hole, and right now I'm like, yeah, yo, because hizo ni nini nilikuwa nasoma. But no, it has kind of helped me, because I'm a very open-minded person, and I'm very open to learning. And yeah, nini ile ingine nimesoma tu instead of reading for my exams, I am here reading on religion. Yeah, okay, but in as much as we want to say that it was bad, in as much as we want to say the medieval times were bad, the missionaries who had their integrity intact, they still helped around, they still helped the sick. But kuna tu wale, and I guess it was during the medieval time yenye corruption ilianza hii dunia, and we still don't know how to deal with it up to date, because of that. And then there's what else? Oh, and then there's how this ways, this political engagement are still incorporated in today's world. Like, hadi wa leo tu kuna watu tu like the politicians are still using church to manipulate and control people, because again, one, people fear God, and so when they tell you to do something and you say no, they're like, but Mungu ni alisema. So they misinterpret the Bible for you so that they can control you. Like for example, during the medieval time, huyu msee mwenye alikuwa anaitwa I don't know why his name is hard to pronounce. Theodanius, yeah, alikataa, like, kuna other ideologies that be other than the three in one. By three in one, I mean like God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. There are other ideologies, like there's one inaitwa Armani. Yeah, it says that Jesus was created and that he is not a God. So huyo Theo whoever alikataa hizo nini zikuwe published, alikataa zikuwe published. Ako like, no, I don't agree with that. So he only agreed with the Nicene one, and then he refused the Armani one and the Macedonian one. Macedonia. Nitawaandikia hizo majina hapa cause literature ya kitambo ilikuwa ngumu kupronounce. Anyway, I don't know if I should sleep for like 2 hours and then wake up and study for my exams, or I don't know, man. It's just a whole thing. And then acha hata tu nisiendelee kuongea juu. Anyway guys, acha nisome. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.